The man hid himself in a cave and attained a lifetime of cultivation. But when he saw the light of day again, his first thought was to finish off the master who taught him everything. Because what seemed to be a sacred training to save the world was actually nothing more than a conspiracy to use them against the Hell's Gate that made everyone tremble. The legend has long circulated in the martial world. It is said there is a hidden cave on High Yen Mountain. Inside is not only the martial arts of the greatest master in the Jianghu, the Moon Reacher, but also a secret weapon he left behind. Because of this, factions from everywhere flocked to High Yen Mountain and a new conflict silently began. Right then, along with the roar of the sword light, a towering mountain peak was split in two in an instant. As the dust settled, a cave entrance appeared at the foot. A figure stepped out from deep inside. The man held a sword in his hand. He couldn't help but utter in a low voice, "The sky is actually blue." No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't remember entering the cave. Could this memory loss be from the impact when he escaped? Regardless, driven by a burning hatred in his heart, he vowed to reclaim those memories. His earliest memory began when he was 10. "I am the Peerless One. You may not understand now, but in 10 years, you will save the world." That day, the Peerless One gathered 100 children, and Tian Hien Vu was one of them. Even now he can still see those bone-chillingly cold eyes. "All you need to do is follow my orders." And for those foolish enough to think of running away, the cave mouth is sealed with boulders. If someone were to break in, it would be a disaster, wouldn't it? And so the training under the name of saving the world began. From the way they ate to the way they walked, every move was ordered by the Moon Reacher. The first technique they learned was Triple Talent Kai, capable of absorbing energy from heaven, earth, and man at once. Next was Triple Talent Sword Style, and finally Triple Talent Footwork. 3 years later, the Moon Reacher summoned them again. "The martial arts I taught you is enough to reach the realm of the martial god. In the remaining 7 years you will train them to perfection. Now push that door open and go inside to fight the calamity. You must continue to practice, continue to grow inside." And so they obeyed and stepped through the door. At first, a strange mist enveloped the caves, terrifying them, but they soon realized it was nothing other than condensed Kai. Thanks to this, their strength increased rapidly. However, because their aura became too powerful, the Hell's Gate was forced open. From then on, they began a brutal struggle for survival that lasted years. Though the martial arts the Peerless One taught was a giant leap compared to anything they knew in the caves. Eventually, only one person survived. That person was Tian Hien Vu. Then Tian Hien Vu went to a tavern. His presence quickly caught their attention of a young woman, the daughter of the Zhao family manor, Zhao Zudong. At that man's, he's carrying a sword but has no sheath. And Han also found it strange, although the sword itself looked extraordinary. Not long after, a steaming bowl of noodles was placed before Tian Hien Vu. He was lost in thought. How long has it been since he had a proper meal like this? The warmth was so pleasant, it almost made him feel like he was about to melt. On the other side, Zhao Zhu Lam continued to observe him. Why was she noticing that man so much? When he finished eating, the waiter stepped up. "Sir, that will be 5 coins. Hearing that, Tian Hien Vu suddenly froze. He had forgot that everything costs money. The waiter kept a polite tone. "You must be joking. If you eat, you must pay." Answered with a serious face that he had none. The waiter finally lost his patience. "Your side to pay the debt." Refused without hesitation. Exchanged for the lives of many friends. The waiter grew angry. "Are you planning to dine and dash from the start?" Han like Jade reached out holding a pouch of money. Pay for him. Settled, Tian Haiyan-vu stepped toward her. He intended to say something but couldn't find any suitable words for this moment. Finally, he just silently turned away and left the tavern. Looking at the departing back of Tian Haiyan-vu, Zhao Lam finally understood what had made her uneasy. His gaze was like a child seeing the world for the first time. However, Zhao Enhan dismissed it, saying he couldn't even say a word of thanks and was probably just an ungrateful wanderer or truly penniless. Furthermore, he added, that man didn't seem to have a bit of internal energy. Yet that sword was clearly not an ordinary weapon. Thinking of that, Zhao's expression on Zhu Lam changed suddenly. That really is a famous sword. Carrying it everywhere without a sheath will surely invite trouble. I need to follow him and make sure he is okay. I can't just leave it like that. He definitely needs a sheath. She was immediately stopped by her brother. He warned that she didn't even know that man, and with his rude attitude, her kindness would likely be wasted. Zhao Zhu Lam tried to argue further, but the head of the escort agency under the Zhao family manor spoke first, agreeing with Zhao Enhan. Separating from the main group now would be dangerous, especially since their alliance leader is coming. Even when the chief escort also objected, Zhao Zhu Lam had no choice but to stay. As dusk fell, the tavern grew crowded. The power of the Wulin alliance was indeed formidable. The chief escort thought it was because Sa Dulian and the Green Forest faction also came to Haiyan. However, he knew well the real reason many gathered was the reputation of that man, the greatest extraordinary person in Wulin history, the peerless one, famous for unparalleled talent and mastery of mechanisms and formations. In his later years, he created a technique called Flash Shadow Blade that shook the entire Wulin. Afterward, he used a unique method combining mechanisms and formations to teach martial arts to a wandering swordsman, forging him into an unparalleled master in just 3 years. Although that martial artist was later considered an enemy of Wulin and met a tragic end, the incident only made the peerless one even more legendary. Many sects later sent people to find him, but he suddenly disappeared without a trace. Now, the Zhao family manor has obtained a treasure map containing the martial arts of the peerless one. It's natural that all of Wulin has their eyes on them. Reflecting on this, he reminded them once again that he was entrusted by the Zhao manor master to accompany them. Therefore, large trouble was unlikely. However, we must always be vigilant because the world is full of surprises. Meanwhile, Hai Yongyu was still thinking about that question. Since she helped him, he realized he should at least go back and thank her properly. Right then, a fragment of a past memory rushed into his mind. Hai Yongyu, we will get out of here. And when we escape, we will do all the things that we never had the chance to do. And promise me one more thing. If I don't make it out, go home for me. Please, tell my father what happened. I won't do it. When both of us escape, you will tell him yourself. But reality is always contrary to desires. One day in a brutal battle against monsters, a bloody mouth wide open suddenly lunged at Hai Yongyu from behind. In that moment, Iakoji lunged forward and took the fatal blow for him. Seeing the life of Iakoji slowly fade, Hai Yongyu let out a primal crazed roar. Why did you take the blow for me? Wake up, you said you'd go back to meet your father. You were always the strongest among us. You must live and tell my father, tell him that his son has failed him. Recalling that moment, Hai Yongyu's determination was hard as steel. He would make them pay dearly for this blood debt. After wandering aimlessly for an unknown amount of time, Hai Yongyu found himself back at the tavern without even knowing the girl was still there. Thinking back, he still hadn't said a word of thanks. But before he could step in, a group of people suddenly rushed out from the main gate holding formation. Tonight, we will complete the mission assigned by their alliance leader. Hai Yong-yu turned toward the noise and caught Joss Lam among them. Let's see where they go. Keeping a safe distance, he followed them until they stopped at the entrance of Mount Hong. Were they going to the very place he just escaped from? And another group following behind them too. What on earth are they planning? At the same time, Wulin Alliance leader Jun was secretly discussing with advisor Surian and the Green Forest faction's sudden move. Could their goal be the same as ours? Though advisor calmly gestured, reassuring him that there was nothing to worry about. According to scouts, those forces are moving in the completely opposite direction. Jiako Yun breathed out slowly. Perhaps I am just thinking too much. After walking a while longer, a man suddenly blocked Joss Lam's path. It was Pian Chunyong, Vice Hall Master of Flying Dragon, Hall of Wulin Alliance. My ladies, you look tired. Why don't I report to the Alliance leader and suggest we rest here? Before Zhou Lam could answer, Zhou Hin intervened. No need for your concern. Pian Hall Master, we are fine. Suddenly, figures rushed out from the dense bushes. We finally found you. Reacting immediately, Jiako Yun ordered everyone into battle positions. The little evil mountain bandit Hal Suri is not an easy opponent. Though advisor added, with a low, urgent voice. It seems Sajurian's forces have also joined the fight. The two sides clashed head-on, after cutting through the lackeys. Hi, Suri pointed his blade straight at Yun. When weapons clashed, Gun swept his eyes across the battlefield. Damn it, at this rate we will be outnumbered. Hal Suji burst out laughing wildly. John Jay's secret weapon today will belong to us. The moment Hai Yong-yu heard that name, his whole body stiffened with a sharp sword flick. He kicked stones into the air, then added a strike that shattered them into 1,000 pieces. Immediately after, the fragments flew like a rain of shrapnel, slaughtering the Green Forest ranks. Tell me, where is Kian Gaza? The battlefield fell into a dead, stunned silence. Even Jiako Yun was clearly shaken. Where did this guy come from? I didn't feel any presence from him at all. The chief escort was the first to speak. Thank you, young hero, for lending a hand. However, that man's, he passed away 10 years ago. Hearing that, Hai Yong-yu felt a hollow sense of loss. He hadn't even avenged his brothers and the enemy was already in the grave. Thinking of that, a colorless void aura began to radiate from his body, enveloping the air instantly. The martial artists who inhaled it felt their strength being drained. Jiako Yun's eyes widened as he felt his own pulse weaken. Could that be the Void Kai? If this continues, the entire alliance will fall into Kai deviation and we must eliminate him immediately. Just as Jiako Yun was about to strike, Josel Lam suddenly stepped up. Hey, are you okay? The moment Hai Yong-yu saw her, he stopped his energy. Something flashed in his mind that he had followed the girl who had been kind to him. It must be kindness after all. Was it not because of the kindness of his brothers that he had survived until now? If Chan Jae was already dead and he couldn't seek revenge, then was it time to fulfill their final wishes? As Hai Yong-yu retracted, the void energy, the suffocating weakness, immediately vanished from the martial artists. Jiako Yun narrowed his eyes. Even top-tier masters struggled to cultivate such an aura. In the end, who was this person? Zhou Lam spoke again, her voice very gentle. Are you looking for someone? Before Hai Yong-yu could answer, she turned to the chief escort. He saved us. Could he perhaps travel with us until he finds the person he is looking for? The chief escort hesitated, glancing at the carnage around them. It was hard to refuse a benefactor, but their alliance had almost collapsed before that aura just now. Would the Alliance leader truly agree? They did not know that John was weighing the risks. This person had wiped out the warriors of Luck Lim and Sazurian in a single move. Dangerous, extremely dangerous. However, with their numbers depleted, letting such a monster leave might be even worse than keeping him close. Finally, DKHU Don nodded in agreement on the spot. The escort bureau chief immediately extended an invitation. Young man, would you like to help our Hainan escort bureau? Seeing Hin Vu looking pensive, Q An immediately mocked him. The Hainan escort bureau isn't a place that takes in just any wanderer off the street. You're not planning to refuse, are you? Tin Hin Vu blinked in confusion. Actually, I will answer. But I don't even know what an escort bureau is. Q, Tight Lam and the others were stunned on this spot. Let me explain, she said, quickly regaining her composure. An escort bureau is a place that transports entrusted goods and protects clients in exchange for a fee. A short-haired man behind them muttered, "What is this? Where did this country bumpkin crawl out from?" Meanwhile, the eyes of Bin Trit Dung never wavered. From Tin Hin Vu's sword, a sharp, cold-killing intent radiated from the blade, proving it was no ordinary weapon. How could such a masterpiece be hanging at the hip of a nameless nobody? The short-haired man frowned, noticing his gaze. That sword deserved a worthy master. Bin Trit Dung silently made a cold decision. There are too many people here. Once the Alliance leader and the Hall Masters enter Mount High Dians, we will act. After walking a bit further, the group finally reached Mount High Dian. However, even after an exhaustive search, the rumored cave entrance still could not be found. The strategist suggested blowing up the mountainside immediately. DKHU Don hesitated. What if we damage the secret manual of Kung Ko Ti? Tin Hin Vu observed silently. The passage he escaped through has already collapsed. They need the original entrance. Then, a familiar faint presence brushed against his senses, the aura of Kung Ko Ti. That's it over there. He leapt up and landed on a vertical cliff face. It's here. DKHU Don looked at him in disbelief. You recognize this place? I used to live here. Bin Trit Dung let out a mocking laugh. So he's just a mountain savage. No wonder he doesn't even have a scabbard. DKHU Don quickly gave orders. I will enter with the strategist and the hall masters of Than Long Hall and Thang Long Hall. Hein Vu Hall will guard the perimeter. He then placed a hand on Tin Hin Vu's shoulder. We'll take it from here. You should not interfere. Tin Hin Vu thought and saw no reason to object. Kung Ko Ti was dead. Whatever happened here was no longer any of his concern. Q Tight Lam rushed over, curiosity evident on her face. Did you really live here? Tin Hin Vu gave a slight nod, and as he was about to speak, Bin Trit Dung and the short-haired man stepped out to block her path. The short-haired man sneered. How do we know he isn't a spy for the Luck Lim sect? What do you mean? Did not you see him save us from them? Or perhaps that whole scene was just staged? If you are truly innocent, then hand over that sword for safekeeping. Fair, right? Saying this, he discreetly examined the sword up close. The more he looked, the clearer it became. At first glance, it looked no different from an old blade, but the sharp aura it emitted was certainly a rare find. Tin Hin Vu slowly drew the sword. This sword was entrusted to me by a deceased friend. Until the day I die, I will not hand it over to anyone. Seeing persuasion fail, the two men shifted their stances, but Tin Hin Vu had already read their intentions. One moved behind him to block his retreat while the other stepped forward to apply pressure. A pincer attack. Just as the clash was about to erupt, DKHU Don's voice rang out from the cave entrance. Did I not order you to guard the perimeter? What are you doing? Bin Trit Dung and his comrade immediately sheathed their weapons. Alliance leader, have you found the secret treasure already? DKH Shu Don did not answer. Instead, he ordered a retreat. Consider yourself lucky, we shall meet again. As they left, Q Tight Lam rushed over. Are you all right? After confirming he was unhurt, she breathed a sigh of relief. What a relief I was worried about you. Come to think of it, we don't even know each other's names yet. I am Q Tight Lam and you. Tin Hin Vu's, what a great name. Let's go, it's time to head back. And so the search for the secret treasure of Kung Ko Tea by the Martial Arts Alliance temporarily ended. Soon after, rumors began to spread everywhere. It was said the Martial Arts Alliance had obtained the treasure of Kung Ko Tea. Their total dominance was only a matter of time. As the rumors spread, DKH Shu Don became increasingly troubled. No matter how much I say there was no treasure, no one believes me. The other elders could only sigh. We heard the rumors have spread from Mount Man across the entire Hubei region. What they didn't know was that inside the cave at Mount Hai Dians, there was only a wooden box, apparently left by Kung Ko Tea along with a single letter. But what exactly does that letter mean? The son of the blood demon is a calamity to the martial arts world with the intent to plunge it into chaos. To prevent him, I have trained 100 unparalleled masters. You must use them well and ensure the blood demon's son is stopped. To control those 100 masters, you must rely on the yin-yang parasite in this wooden box. Blood demon son, I will never let you succeed. After reading the letters, Jayako-kun opened the wooden box, only to find inside a sphere containing a parasite. Not only was there no sign of the so-called yin-yang parasite, but also no trace of the 100 masters. How much of this letter could be believed? However, the strategist was worried about something else entirely. Could there be another force manipulating all of this from the shadows? Jayako-yun nodded. At Mount Hai Yin Ice, felt the Luck Lim sect was targeting the secret weapon of Kion Gajia. They were targeting the Martial Arts Alliance. When we arrived, not only were there no survivors, but even most of the bodies had disappeared. And now, the rumors are spreading through the streets like a rolling snowball. Someone is deliberately drawing their attention of the entire martial world toward us. The elders were all stunned. Who could be the ones pulling the strings? The strategist raised a suspicion. We should interrogate the head of the Q family. You brought the treasure map forward first, so even if Hai Yen is innocent, who can guarantee there is no corruption within the Q family? Jayako-yun fell into thought. It seems we must send a suitable person to investigate the Q family. Even if they are not the mastermind, they might be one of its claws. Meanwhile, Young and her group finally returned to the Q family. Seeing the cracked scabbard at the hip of Zanha Yongu, Jose looked embarrassed. It seems even the best scabbard cannot withstand such a sharp blade. Just as she finished speaking, the scabbard suddenly shattered. Startled, Seung quickly apologized. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have insisted on making you a new scabbard. The moment he heard the words I'm sorry, Sayan Yongu was thrown back into memories of Iakoji dying before his eyes. He had said the same thing, but he was the one who was dying. What did he have to apologize for? So don't say sorry anymore. I don't want to hear those words again. Zhao seemed surprised by his reaction. Just then, the voice of the chief escort rang out. Hinvu's come here. Watching his retreating back, Jung felt a bit confused. Did I do something wrong? Shortly after, the chief escort took Zanha Yongu to the Hainan Escort Bureau. And, as he walked, he quietly observed his surroundings. It turned out that the so-called porters were merely laborers who transported goods. The chief escort shouted, Dong Chan, I've brought a new porter here. You will train him. Understood. Dong Chan replied quickly. The chief escort called back. He's a bit rough, but he shouldn't cause too much trouble. When he left, a meaningful smile curled at the corners of his lips. It didn't matter who brought you in. Every newcomer needed a proper initiation. The first words from Manhwa Yonggu immediately ignited Dong Chan's rage. You look strong, but your limbs are short. Your build is ridiculous. Dong Chan roared. Do you want to die on your first day? Manhwa Yonggu immediately sensed the hostility and placed his hand on his sword hilt. Should I kill him? Dong Chan realized. A porter carrying a sword. You've got guts. Hand it over now. Manhwa Yonggu refused without hesitation. A cold aura flashing in his eyes. Sweat beaded on Dong Chan's temples. Fine, that's enough for today. The onlookers couldn't help but chuckle. Dong Chan usually strutted around like a tyrant, yet he cowered the moment he faced the newcomer. Dong Chan was furious, but could do nothing. Newcomers, follow me. The common sleeping area is this way. His tone had softened, but the seeds of revenge had taken root. Just wait, I will repay this humiliation in full. When midnight came, Dong Chan carefully climbed out of bed. He began searching for Manhwa Yonggu in their rooms. Suddenly he crashed into something solid. What the hell? Since when was there a pillar here? He looked up, it was a pillar, but Manhwa Yonggu. Dong Chan backed away instinctively. Why are you still awake? You've been up this whole time, haven't you? But Manhwa Yonggu remained still, his eyes closed, motionless. Dong Chan frowned. Is he actually sleeping standing up? When he cautiously reached for the sword at the hip of Manhwa Yonggu's eyes suddenly snapped open. Immediately Dong Chan froze. It lasted less than a heartbeat, but the terror he felt was overwhelming. For a moment, he felt the cold breaths of death against his neck. In reality, it was just his imagination. Even so, he still staggered back to his bed. What he had experienced was merely the pressure from the protective true Kai of Manhwa Yonggu. He did not always sleep standing up. During those endless years in that cave, whether resting, eating, or sleeping, he had to remain constantly vigilant. Over time, he had formed the habit of sleeping standing up while circulating internal energy. The next morning, Manhwa Yonggu was the first to wake up. He calmly walked over to Dong Chan. Sorry. Before he could finish, Dong Chan bolted out of the room in a panic. The others began to wake up one by one. Today's workload was piled as high as a mountain, but no porter expected what would happen next. With just a few casual movements, Manhwa Yonggu neatly organized the piles of goods onto the wooden carts. This newcomer was not ordinary. At this rate, he would steal all our work. While they were whispering, a figure suddenly appeared in front of them. It was Kyutiat Lam. Miss Kyu, why are you here? How could I not come? After hearing such a story, how could anyone not be concerned? He said, I must never say sorry again. What did he mean? She felt uneasy and couldn't sleep because of those words. She had personally come here. While she was lost in thought, Huang-vu suddenly stepped into view. Unexpectedly, Kyutiat Lam blushed and blurted out, calling him Brother Huang-vu. Realizing what she just said, she quickly changed the subject. You right. And what do you like or dislike? Asking, she regretted it, wondering what was wrong with her today. Huang-vu calmly replied, that peace being broken, and I don't want to hear friends apologize to me. Long-Tyat Lam's face immediately brightened. Oh, he considers me a friend. I promise I won't say those words anymore. Right then the sound of horse hooves approaching caught their attention. What a coincidence. It has been a while, Miss Kyu. You has become even more beautiful now. It was been trite dung. the Vice Hall Master of Thanglong Halls. Hall Master, you must be busy with the Alliance's affairs. Why did you come here? I came here by order of the Martial Arts Alliance. The leader has decided to fully support Hai Nam's operations. In the middle of the conversation, Bin Trite Dung suddenly noticed a familiar figure. A mere porter carrying a sword, how ridiculous. If you can't control something, it's better not to use it. Thanglong Hall represents the Martial Arts Alliance. Causing trouble now only brings more problems. Brother Huangvu, please go. Do other work first. As soon as he heard that, Bin Trite Dung's face darkened. She called him brother already standing there observing his sister. Bin Mai Lam finally understood everything. Just for one order from the alliance leader that her brother had rushed here. So, it was all for Miss Kiu. Right at that moment, a voice rang out from the side. You must be Huangvu. The young lady is also here. I am Hung Bao, an escort by order of the agency chief. I'm here to guide the new porter who will join the escort mission. Worried, he just started working and already has to go on an escort mission. However, Bin Trite Dung smiled smugly. Perfect. Once that kid is gone, this is the ideal opportunity to get closer to Tayat Lam. What are you hesitating for? You porter, the warriors of the escort agency are waiting for you, aren't they? Bin Mai Lam slightly sighed. Whole master, you're still so childish. Yet, Huangvu didn't react at all to the provocation. Could it be that sword is just for intimidation? Huangvu chose to leave with Hung Bao, but Hung Bao couldn't help but recall the agency chief's warning to keep an eye on Huangvu, ensuring he didn't cause trouble on the way. At that time, Hung Bao didn't understand, but after meeting him in person, he realized something. Living alone on the mountain could explain the odd behavior, but where did a lowly porter get that nerve to carry a sword? After some thought, he spoke his suspicions. Huangvu, brother, are you practicing sword techniques? But as soon as Hung Bao heard it was the triple talent sword method, he came to his own conclusion. So he is just an outsider who just started practicing because of a dream to become an escort. Triple talent sword method might be basic, but in actual combat there are much more practical techniques. Speaking, me see what your triple talent sword method can do. Alert, may mean to spar to measure our strength. Bao was stunned for a moment, then burst out laughing. New to the sword compare to me. Even so, confidence is a good thing. I will teach you how to become stronger. We're not yet finished when Huangvu suddenly extended his palm and began tracing movements in the air. Hung Bao stared in confusion. Now, so I need to calculate. Silent, so that's what the chief meant in that case. I will show you what true strength looks like. Watching Hung Bao rush in, Huangvu saw through his next move. If he wanted to hold back, just attacking right in front of him would be enough. With that thought, he quickly drew his sword and slashed hard at his feet. The slash did not injure Hung Bao at all, but the shockwave knocked him backwards, still in a daze. Hung Bao asked, that just now? Sword method, a move called Heavenly Thunder. Hung Bao frowned. He said it's triple talent sword method, but it didn't feel like it. Yet the sword intent was truly like thunder, descending from the sky. Is this person truly such a master? Could it be that the chief escort already knew beforehand? Haiyan Vu spoke again. Already say I am the strongest. Haiyan Bao felt both helpless and amused at the innocence that completely contrasted with his strength. The innocence of Haiyan Vu was almost childlike. Before reporting to the chief escort, it seems the urgent matter is to teach this young man how to use martial arts properly in the mortal world. Thinking so, he held out his hand. To teach you is not martial arts. Had no immediate reaction. Haiyan Bao taught him the first lesson right on the spot. At times like these, helping your opponent up is basic human etiquette. And so, Haiyan Vu moved to the home of escort Hien Bao. He began to relearn the worldly principles that he had long forgot. During that time there was a pair of eyes quietly observing everything from the darkness. She remembered the alliance leader once said, her mission was to monitor every movement of the two-family manor. If the attack by the Haiyan Mountain outlaws was related to them, she must find proof. But after a long time monitoring by Bin Mai Lambs, this place seemed to have nothing suspicious at all. Instead, that hot-tempered young man stood out too much. The early escort day arrived after the passionate speech of the chief escort. The team led by Chief Ma set off in an orderly formation. The scene shifts to the outlaw's lair, where a cold voice rang out from behind a deep red curtain. Squad have been completely wiped out. That was my failure. I could not identify who was the one that did it. Finished, a giant hand suddenly reached out from the curtain, with just a flick of a finger. The bizarre corpses flew into the air. All of them had died by the same hand, just as predicted by Quinn and Hat Jia, who created those 100 monsters. But even so, how long can such things withstand me? Blood demons, I am quite looking forward to it. Saying that, the blood demon issued a new order: investigate immediately. Track down everyone involved in that battle. At the study of Two-Family Manor, Thang Long Hall of the Martial Arts Alliance came to visit the Lord. Tu and Hat Hien hurriedly invited them to sit. You must be Dao Long, one of the twin dragons of Thang Long Hall. The Manor Lord overpraises me. I am Bin Trite Dung, and the ones beside me must be Kim Long. It is an honor to meet you. Manor Lord I am's Nam Kung Kim. When Nam Kung Kim just finished speaking, another voice rang out. I am the younger sister of Dao Long, Bin Mai Lambs. Tu and Hat Hien smiled cryptically. The Bin family is a leading martial family in Ha Bak with such grace and beauty. Perhaps matching her with his son is not impossible. Thinking so, he raised his teacup. I hope during the time you stay, you will instruct my sons in a few moves. After leaving the Manor Lord's study, Bin Mai Lambs sighed, seeing the flushed face of her brother. They came here to perform the monitoring mission, but all of her brother's thoughts were directed towards that young lady over there. However, after many days of observation, she realized that young lady was not looking at her brother at all, but instead at an irrelevant wagon driver. Bin Trite Dung was not worried. I heard that guy has gone on an escort mission that will last 4 months. With that much time, I'm confident I can win the heart of Miss Tiat Lam. Meanwhile, Hien Vu focused all his attention on the food in front of him. Is the most exciting moment in this world. The whole scene. Never seen anyone eat as if they were performing a ritual. By the way, the destination of this escort is Western Shu, the hometown of the Tang family and the power that unified the Tang name and rose to the ranks of the leading martial families in the martial world is none other than the Western Shu Tang family, their current employer. For this escort mission, besides their own escorts, the Tang family sent a group of elite experts. They even sent an elder to accompany the convoy during the entire journey. Clearly the goods are extremely important. Just then a butterfly fluttered in front of Elder Tang. With just a light wave of the hand, the butterfly turned to dust. His gaze then became sharp and shifted towards a dining table nearby. Among the wagon drivers, there was someone emitting an unusual aura. Who is it? Just as he was about to lock onto Hien Vu, Chief Ma suddenly rode up. Could that aura be from Chief Ma? Listen here, both escorts and wagon drivers represent Hai Nam Escort Agency. Normally, the journey to Western Shu takes 4 months, but we will complete it in 1.5 months. Then he ordered the departure. Hien Bao warned Hien Vu not to fall behind and to keep close to Chief Ma. The severity of the escort mission lies not just in the uncompromising nature of Chief Ma, but also in the fact that not just escorts, even wagon drivers must run at the speed of horses. What shocked Hien Bao the most was that Hien Vu didn't just keep up with the incredible escort speed. He didn't even seem to be panting. Only in 2 days, Hainam Escort Agency reached Ba'an Mountains, a journey that usually takes 4 days. But right then, a spear suddenly plunged down from the sky. The next second, a group of fierce bandits appeared from the bushes. Have entered our territories, leave the goods, then retreat. We can't spare your lives. To Hien Vu, don't panic, this happens often. Once they are paid the road tax, they will leave. But when handed 2 heavy strings of copper coins, the bandit leader slashed them away in one stroke. Who cares about these few silver coins? We want your goods, that's what. He swung his blade and rushed forward. The clash broke out immediately. Tang Haoqian, an elder of the Tang family, you have observed, since feeling something was not right. You are not ordinary bandits. Who is behind this? The leader sneered. Of the Greenwood world, to die by our hands is your honor. Elder Tang Haoqian snorted coldly. A hidden projectile launched from his fingertip. The dart embedded deep into a tree trunk, and at the same time, a bloody hole pierced through the bandit leader's chest. The Tang family, do you think you're qualified to even touch it? Were fired in succession. In an instant, every outlaw fell down on the spot. But right then, another group appeared from the forest. As expected, relying on just those bandits would being too optimistic. Because even the elders of the Tang family have made their move. We can no longer show mercy. Seeing the enemy forces approaching, Tang Haoqian quickly ordered everyone to prepare for battle. Even if the Hainan Escort Bureau is wiped out, this shipment must reach the Tang family manor. You are the elite, personally selected by me, and no matter what, you must use your own lives to protect the goods. And just like that, the 2 sides engaged in a chaotic battle. But unlike before, the front line of the Hainan Escort Bureau quickly lost ground. Even their strongest warriors were seriously injured. Just as the enemy rushed in to finish him off, a streak of sword light flashed out, rumbling like thunder. In the next moment, the attacker had turned into ashes and dust. The violent explosion attracted the attention of nearby enemies. What was that explosion? Could it be lightning striking from the sky? Tin Bao, you understand exactly what happened. Turning to look towards Shen Xingwu, go save the others. Why? I acted because of you. What do you mean, why? Are they not humans? Please. Shen Xingwu let out a slight sigh. I don't quite understand you, but since you've asked, I will help one more time. The battlefield was at its most intense. Tang Haoqian, your crude hidden weapons are useless against us. Hand over the goods and get lost, perhaps. We will spare your life. A cold chill ran down Tang Haoqian's spine. But what startled him was not the threat, but a figure passing through his sight. The moment Shen Xingwu stopped, every enemy on the battlefield turned to dust. News of the outcome quickly reached the ears of a woman. Didn't you say one purple hall was more than enough to deal with the Hainan Escort Bureau and that old man Tang Haoqian? Are you speaking of the hall master of the Purple Hall from the Du clan? Strategist Du Minhe hurriedly apologized. It seems our assessment of the leopard was mistaken. There is a hidden master among them. As for who that person is, this subordinate will personally. No need. Du Minhe interrupted him. I will investigate this myself. I want to see who this so-called master actually is. After Du Minhe decided to personally investigate the destruction of the Purple Hall, the scene shifts to the Du clan. Although they are not ranked among the 5 great clans, the Du clan can still rival any marquis's residence, controlling 1/3 of the world's trade and possessing immense influence due to their wealth. At that time, intelligence regarding the Sichuan family and the leopard quietly reached their hands. Has it been confirmed what they are transporting? The head steward nodded. The Sichuan family has partnered with Thunderbolt Manor to produce Thunderbolt bombs. 5 full wagons are being transported to their headquarters via the Hainan Escort Bureau. This surprised Du Monhong, the head of the Du clan. So the descendants of the Thunderbolt Gate have actually recreated the Thunderbolt bombs, and even 5 wagon loads of them. According to historical records, that amount is enough to level several ordinary regions. As he spoke, he casually struck down a bird in flight. We must obtain both the Thunderbolt bombs and their production methods. The steward hesitated. However, upon hearing this news, the young mistress and the members of the Purple Hall have already left. She has likely reached the Bintuang mountain area. Elsewhere, although the Hainan Escort Bureau survived thanks to the overwhelming display of power from Shen Xingwu, they suffered heavy losses. Almost all the escort masters had fallen. At this rate, the mission cannot continue. Once we pass Bintuang mountain, we should find another escort bureau. Tang Heoquan immediately rejected that proposal. This escort mission must be completed by us. Tang Thichki frowned. You still plan to entrust such a valuable shipment to an escort bureau in this condition? Any local escort bureau would do. Furthermore, great uncle, don't you still have your heavenly thunder? Tang Heoquan let out a weary sigh. It seemed this kid had misunderstood something, and rightly so, since even he could only barely grasp what had happened in the eyes of that kid. Perhaps he saw nothing at all. His eyes slightly shifted to the side. If these eyes of the Tang family do not deceive, then the heavenly thunder that destroyed those evil men came from that sword-bearing driver. While Tang Thichki was still in shock, Tang Heoquan walked up to Shen Xingwu. Dare I ask which sect your martial arts originate from? Shen Xingwu remained silent. The master of the void had never taught him martial arts, he only threw us into that hell. What I possess was forged through countless life and death battles over many long years. It belongs to me alone. His words held not a hint of exaggeration, and Tang Heoquan's face darkened. Does your power just fall from the sky? I am your senior in the martial world, as well as an elder of the Tang family. Speak with care. Sensing danger, Hin Bao hurried forwards. Senior, my friend has lived alone on the mountain for too long. I will teach him carefully. Please forgive him this time. Tang Heoquan mused. Is he just an arrogant youth, relying on talent? But the road ahead requires such strength. And as the driver clearly listened to Hin Bao, he finally made a public decision. From now on, you will replace Chief Ma and oversee this escort mission. That way, you who can use Heavenly Thunder will stay to protect it. Chief Ma nodded. Hin Bao, we are now counting on you. I must return to the Hainan Escort Bureau for reinforcements. You laid them. After some careful thought, Hin Bao accepted their appointment. However, Tang Chichki remained uneasy. That green-clad porter had mastered the Heavenly Thunder. And so, under the command of Hin Bao, the Hainan Escort Bureau continued its journey, while Chief Ma rode at full speed to report the ambush. And, no matter how strong the porter Huangvu was, if the enemy continued to attack, everyone would be in danger. That disturbance suddenly made him tense. Before he could react, an iron sickle struck his skull. The attacker was from the Ghostface hands, the assassination force under the Blood Demon. The rat has been dealt with. Next is the Zhao family manor. At the same time, Zhao Yixuan was reviewing documents in his study. Master, if you are tired, perhaps we should stop for today, the steward suggested. Zhao Yixuan shook his head. Work like cultivation, if delayed, will lose the will to act. Let us continue. As he set down the brush, a drop of ink suddenly fell on the paper. His eyes sharpened. His killing intent flared instantly. The sound of clashing metal echoed throughout the manor. Learning the Zhao manor was under attack, the head escort immediately drew his sword. He intended to rush out, but Zhao Yixuan stopped him. The aura I feel is not an ordinary threat. This is not something you can handle. There is another place you must go immediately. A moment later, the head escort hurried to bring Zhao Enhan to Zhao Tiat Lam's room. Tiat Lam, pack your things. We're leaving now. Soon after, the head escort secretly left with a small escort party. Zhao Yixuan slowly raised his spear, and with a light sweep, the courtyard exploded into pieces. The thunderous explosion caught their attention of all the ghost face hands. That is Hebei's #1 spear, Zhao Yixuan. Bring me his head. Hearing news of the attack, Zhao Tiat Lam stopped abruptly. Can father really catch up? The head escort urged her to move on. Don't worry, the master is Hebei's #1 spear in Hebei. No one can rival him. Then, he turned to the side. I am deeply sorry for what happened. Could the Thang Long Hall accompany us? Bin Mai Lam stepped forward and refused. We must return to the Martial Arts Alliance to report. Bin Chet Dung stared in disbelief. What are you saying? Did not you see their martial arts skills? We must report this attack to the Martial Arts Alliance immediately. As the twin dragons were convinced by Bin Mai Lam, the head escort placed his remaining hope on someone else. That person was the porter, who had driven off the bandits at Mount Haidong Huangvu. After the two groups parted, the head escort suggested regrouping with the escort caravan. Zhao Tiat Lam was still worried about her father, but she understood that finding Huangvu might be their only chance. Meanwhile, seriously wounded, Zhao Yixuan asked, Who are you? Why did you attack the Zhao family manor? A mocking laugh rang out from behind the ghost face hands. Do you think I will let you die knowing the answer? Before the words were finished, a hand had pierced through Zhao Yixuan's skull, like a blade. The next day, a man sat on a pile of ruins. So this is the Zhao family manor which still stood firm until yesterday. Well done. But where are my assassins? The commander of the ghost face hands sat and replied. They are pursuing the survivors, who escaped during the chaos. Even so, I still don't understand why we destroyed such a small manor. The man laughed wickedly. Do you know what the first one of the void is to me? A mortal enemies. You have risked your very life to oppose him. He nodded. The blood demons, and the first one of the void share an entangled fate that cannot be separated, and now only I remains. Back then, he chose the Zhao family manor as the place to stop my plan and nurture my 100 elites. So shouldn't the first step to breaking all his plans begin here? Elsewhere, as the head escort galloped forward, he felt danger approaching. Damn it, they've caught up. Just a little further. As long as we reach the caravan, we will be safe. Exhausted, Zhao Enhan decided, I will find a way to follow. Please ensure Tiat Lam reaches safety. Before he could finish, a curved blade pierced through his chest. There was no time to mourn. The next attack lunged toward Zhao Tiat Lam. In that moment, the head escort rushed in and took the fatal blow for her. At that instant, Zhao Tiat Lam understood everything, and tears streamed down her cheeks. They had chased him all the way here. Could it be that father has also fallen? The leader of the ghost face hands raised his sword and pointed it at her. Escaping this far is commendable. But it all ends here. Just as the blade was about to fall, a bolt of heavenly thunder struck down from the sky, shattering the sword, and Huangvu appeared before her. A few moments ago, while escorting the goods, he had heard a cry for help. He recognized that voice instantly. That is Zhao Tiat Lam. That is why he arrived just in time. Now, The ghost-face hands rushed toward him without haste. Huangvu gently placed his hand on Zhao Tiat Lam's head. She felt her fear and exhaustion vanish from her body in an instant. Wipe away your tears. This will soon be over. Then, he leaped into the air, his sword moving only once. And in the next second all the ghost-face hands vanished like dust in the wind. Do Xiang stood frozen, witnessing it all. How did you do that? If I possessed such strength, could I have protected my family? After burying her brother and the bureau chief, Siam could only stare blankly ahead. Having lost both her father and brother, how could she go on living alone? Hearing this, Xian Heiyungu was pulled back into his own past. There was a time when he also crawled alone out of hell, and the first hand reached out to him was Joe X's. Oh, the sheep. After a moment of silence, he softly said live, carrying gratitude for the deceased, and do what you truly want to do. Knowing she wanted to seek justice, he looked towards the horizon where the battle still awaited. Joining the escort, he did not hesitate to grab her wrist. Then let us go right now. With that, he carried her and flew into the sky. He had no grand intention. In doing so, he simply wanted to take her away from that place as quickly as possible. But for Jung, that single action meant more than any words of comfort. A moment later, she voiced her suspicion. How did you become so strong? We are almost the same age after all. He calmly replied, fighting monsters long enough and risking your life often enough will make you like this. Can you tell me more about those experiences? He remained silent for a moment. If I start talking about that dungeon, I would have to start with the 99 friends who died and Qian Gajia. Finally, Qian Gajia is dead. Damn it. I didn't even have a chance for revenge. As for the rest, I will tell you another time. After flying what seemed like an eternal distance, the two finally reunited with the caravan. But when the escort masters heard that the Manor and Hainan Escort Bureau had fallen, a somber atmosphere enveloped them. Even Hai Yongbo felt uneasy about the mission. The previous ambush had already crushed their spirits. Now, with this news, it had sunk to the rock bottom. Something had to change. We still have to finish this job and collect the reward. With that money evens, if we don't become rich, it is enough for everyone to start over. We can even rebuild the Hainan Escort Bureau. After all, we still have the young lady Do. Hearing that, Do Seo Lam straightened her back. She was right, this was not the time to wallow in grief. There were still people relying on her. Once things settled, she would become stronger, like Xian Haiyongu, and take revenge for her father, brother, and everyone at Do Manor. As the caravan continued its journey, Yong kept thinking back to what Haiyongu said about fighting monsters. Unable to help herself, she asked Brother Gu, can you tell me more about that? But instead of answering, Xian Hai quietly asked, is Qian Gajia really dead? Everyone says so, she replied. They believe he passed away 10 years ago. Hai Yongbo joined the conversation. I don't believe it. There are too many contradictions surrounding his death. Rumors usually have a source, but this one does not. Yet, the entire martial world believes it as if they witnessed it themselves. Almost as if someone deliberately announced it to ensure no one would suspect. Do Seung frowned. Who would do that and why? Hai Yongbo lowered his voice. It is just speculation. But the most likely answer is Qian Gajia himself. Perhaps he needed to disappear. Zanha Yonggu seemed to realize something, but Jiang Han's voice intervened. Everyone stop. Something has happened. A few men ran toward us. Our carriage is stuck in the mud. We plan to proceed on foot. Could Our Lady travel with you? Their tone was very respectful. Jiang Han looked closely at the crest on the carriage. It was the crest of Yum. With the recent ambushes, information about the cargo might have been leaked. And now in such a situation, a Yum family carriage happened to break down coincidentally. Then a gentle voice spoke up. Please excuse me, I am Yum Hai. As soon as she appeared, the whole escort team seemed mesmerized. Even Jiang Han was momentarily captivated by her beauty, forgetting all his suspicions. Seizing the moment, Yum Hai gently sat down on the cargo cart. I hope for your kind care on the way. Though Jiang Han could not read her intentions, the mere presence of Zan Haoyongu lessened his suspicion. He allowed her to join and ordered the caravan to move on. A satisfied smile curled on her lips. The old man agreed too easily. Still cautious, she signaled her servant to switch to secret sound transmission for further discussion. The escort had only 30 people, and according to her assessment, Jiang Han was the only true master among them. She found it ridiculous that such a small force would escort 5 wagons of thunder bombs. Both thunder bombs and heaven-shaking thunder were forged by the Thunder sect. The former could level even minor sects. They once raised the sect's prestige but also led to its destruction. For many centuries, the Thunder sect had vanished, and now its weapons and formulas have resurfaced. Yum Hai had assumed the Hall of Death was wiped out by bombs, but there was no sign that they were used. So who pushed back the Hall of Death and destroyed them? As she observed the group, a porter caught her eye. In simple attire, but with a sword at his hip, he did not look like a martial artist, so why couldn't she look away? Then she realized that since she arrived he had not glanced at her once. How could anyone be indifferent to her beauty? She decided to test him and greeted him directly. When Zin Haoyongu finally turned around, the absolute indifference in his eyes dealt her a blow. Is this the feeling of humiliation? The spark of determination flashed in her heart. When I see Hyang Yu, I will make you kneel before me. Night fell, and the escort caravan stopped to rest. Zhou Lam approached with a bowl of hot soup. Hyang Yu Appa, it is dinner time. Before she could finish, Yunmin Hai appeared. As she brushed past Hai Yongyu, she whispered, boy, meet me in the forest. I will tell you everything you want to know, if you can keep up. A confident smile bloomed on her lips, thinking that if he could not even do that, it would disappoint her. But before she finished her sentence, Zin Haoyongu was standing right in front of her. Their eyes met and she involuntarily gasped. The noise attracted servants who came running. Yunmin Hai stared in disbelief. Within the Yunmin clans, her movement skill was ranked among the best. How could a mere porter surpass her? Who exactly are you? Zin Haoyong, you did not answer. I want to know where Shen Jiazi is, tell me, or else the soup will get cold. When she admitted she didn't know, he turned to leave and several servants rushed in to attack him. Before the leader could draw his sword, Zin Haoyongu had vanished into thin air. Yun Min Hai stood stunned. How did he do that? A strange wind brushed past. When Do Seo Lam blinked, the soup bowl in her hand was gone. Good, the soup is still hot. She looked bewildered. Tiang Yu Appa, when did you get back? And what about that lady? Who knows? If she wants to come, she will. Though I must admit the Lady Yunmin is quite beautiful. Do Seo Lam's cheeks flushed. Tiang Yu Appa, I have another question. Do you think I am beautiful? He glanced at her. Not as beautiful as the lady just now, but I don't like beautiful women. Beautiful women often bring deadly trouble. Elsewhere, Yunmin Hai had come to her conclusion. The one who ravaged the Hall of Death must be him. However, she needed to observe more. Besides the name Zin Haoyongu, she knew nothing about him at all. Unawares the Hainans Escort Bureau caravan was approaching the rest stop. Jewel kept pondering his words. Beautiful women bring deaths. What kind of life had Hai Yua lived? Tai Hong's bow cut through her thoughts. Young lady, stay alert from here on. The closer we get, the more unsettled the air seems. Jiang Han felt it even more clearly. Tomorrow we will reach the main house of the Sichuan Tang clan. That leaves only the Black Sand Gang as a threat. The Black Sand Gang had risen rapidly over the last decade. Now they were the only power in Sichuan, capable of challenging the Tangs. At that moment, a commotion broke out in the distance. Jiang Han's gaze grew hard. Has someone in the Tang family leaked information? Zin Hai Yong Yu clearly sensed. About 100 people ahead, a chill ran down Yun Min Hai's spine. To count the number of people, using only internal energy was absurd. Sure enough, the next second, dozens of people jumped out of the forest. Jiang Han roared all units, prepare for combat. Hai Yang Yu, stay back to guard the cargo. This black sand trash is ours. And the clash broke out. Unlike Hai Yan Bohu was tensed, Zin Hai Yang Yu remained calm. The old man and his people will win. He was right. The rapid rise of the Black Sand Gang was nothing before the elders and masters of the Sichuan Tang clan. Yun Min Hai became uneasy. Could they have underestimated the Tangs? 50 people were wiped out too easily. Even if the 50 hidden ones joined, victory seemed impossible. Retreating was the wisest choice. But how could she give the order without being detected? As she hesitated, Zin Hai Yang Yu quietly spoke up. If you intend to transmit a message, I will not stop you. Her heart skipped a beat. Could he hear their secret sound transmission? The plan to rob and kill was exposed. But how could anyone intercept the sound transmission? His voice grew cold, retreat now or die. The pressure in his voice paralyzed her on the spot. She immediately ordered her people to signal the retreat. She could not understand why he let her go. He had not been like this since the human ambush. What made him uneasy was an aura of bloodlust even stronger nearby. Meanwhile, Jiang Han had crushed the Hukchan gang. He was unaware that another force was watching from the shadows. Everything is going according to plan. The vanguard has been destroyed. When they celebrate and fall asleep, the gun team will attack. With the silent approval of Zhang Hai Yang Yu, the human ambush team retreated safely. However, the bloodlust continued to rise, making him uncomfortable. Night fell, and Hai Yang Bo approached Gco Lam. Young ladies, the lady from the Yu Min family plans to pitch a tent near the carriage. Should I ask if the young lady wants to rest with her? She gently refused. No, I cannot sleep well alone. To be honest, I never thought much about the Hainan Escort Bureau. I thought it was just simple cargo transportation. But now I understand. This place is still peaceful because the masters and porters risked their lives. Since I am part of this bureau, I will camp with everyone. And I have decided that I will not just be the lady of Du Manor, but I will become the chief of the Hainan Escort Bureau. As they were talking, Zhang Hai Yang Yu appeared behind them without a sound. Hai Yang Yu Appa, do you want to say something? He paused. If you want to be chief, start by being a porter. The silence that followed was painfully awkward. Then, Hai Yang Yu Appa, please teach me how to become a first-class porter. Soon the whole camp fell into a deep sleep. From the shadows an eye of bloodlust opened. Jakun team prepare. The Jakun team was an elite assassin unit, trained by the Hukchan gang. They specialized in ambushes, assassinations, and hiding in the shadows, moving as a single entity. They could eliminate countless enemies in the blink of an eye. As their presence neared, Zhang Hai Yang Yu had already located every one of them. Just as the leader ordered their attack, a massive hand grabbed his throat. The other members advanced, realizing nothing. One assassin aimed for Jiang Han first. Thanks for delivering the heaven-shaking thunder. In the end, they belonged to the Hukchan gang. His sword was about to strike, but another blade blocked it. Seeing the face in front of him, he angrily transmitted, "What are you doing? Why is that porter still alive?" The answer did not come from his comrade, but from Zhang Haiyongyu's Jiakan. "Is that your name? It no longer exists. Go join your comrades." A slash filled with lightning tore through the night. As the darkness swallowed him, the assassin could not comprehend how the gang's grand plan failed. Hukshin collapsed as absurdly as that. The escort team woke up from the violent shaking. What on earth happened? Why are there corpses everywhere? Every eye turned toward Song Hwi Youngwoo. That kid must have handled it. His mercy had reached its limit. From that night with Song Hwi Youngwoo's presence, no more threats appeared. They reached their destination safely. Hwi Youngwoo, once we reach Sichuan, you will be busy. In confusion, he listened to Hwi Youngbo's explanation near the Lord's Manor in Sichuan. There is a place called Eo Manor. Didn't you say your friend's name was Eo? If he was that important, shouldn't you go meet his family? Memories of the last words of Eogi came back. We are going to Eo Manor immediately. After arriving at the manor in Sichuan safely, Zhou Xiao AM watched Tan Hanwu pay the remaining escort fee as promised. Her emotions were tangled. Her entire estate, including her family, was gone. Now, as the head of the Hainan Escort Bureau, this first payment carried immense weight. Hwi Youngbo read her mind. Bureau chief, don't worry. Things will get better. She wiped her tears. Thank you, Master Hwi. I will be strong for the family I still have left. Meanwhile, Yu Min's group had also arrived at the Sichuan Manor. It's a pity we didn't get the Thunderbolt. Whole Master, should we return home after this? Yu Min waved her hand. If the Thunderbolt has reappeared, the main family already knows. The Yu Min's clan has never failed to get what they want. Moreover, what I want most now is that man. She had no idea she was the only one attracted to Song Hwi Youngwoo. Those whose lives he had saved more than once were looking at the strangely powerful young hero with complex emotions. But Song Hwi Youngwoo had only one goal in mind to fulfill, the last wish of Eogi. He jumped onto the roof and took a deep breath. He sensed an unusually familiar energy, distant but similar to Eogi's. At sunset, the escort bureau politely declined the host's hospitality and rented an inn. Where are you two going? We will tell you when we return, Hwi Youngbo replied. It's not certain yet. While passing by, Song Hwi Youngwoo gently placed his hand on Xiao Am's head. She froze. Was Hwi Youngwoo Appa praising her? A warmth spread through her chest. After saying goodbye, the two set off for Eo Manor. Not long after, Hwi Youngbo sensed something. Looking back, he saw Yu Min's group following them. That young lady clearly has no intention of leaving. She doesn't even know where we're going. She's just following. Qin Hanwu silently adjusted his speed. Noticing Hwi Youngbo's stamina, he slowed down and transferred True Kai to him. Hwi Youngbo blinked in confusion. Why did his footsteps suddenly feel so light? In that case, let's speed up to the Eo Manor. Seeing them suddenly accelerate, Yu Min frowned in confusion. Is that escort leader also hiding his strength? A moment later, the two finally arrived at Eo Manor. Before Hwi Youngbo could knock, Yu Min and her group caught up, panting. When he knocked, Hwi Youngbo felt uneasy, because such a large manor didn't have a single guard. The gate creaked open, and a burly man stepped out. Upon seeing him, Qin Hanwu immediately thought of Eogi. The resemblance was uncanny. State your purpose. We are Not receiving guests, the man said coldly. We didn't come as guests, HWI Young Bo replied. Do you know anyone named Aogi? The man's gaze turned ice cold, and an overwhelming aura exploded outwards. Who are you two? Dare ask about Aogi? HWI Young Bo was confused. It's just a name. Why is there murderous intent? As the pressure made him choke, Kim Han-woo intervened to push back with a stronger energy to protect him. That only made the man angrier. He drew his sword. You dare challenge me? A mere lowly driver dares to oppose a master. Seeing things spiral out of control, HWI Young Bo hurriedly explained he is my friend, and also Aogi's friend. His name is Kim Han-woo. He lives on the mountain, so he doesn't know worldly etiquette. The tension eased slightly. I am Eo. Lek-kun, Aogi is my nephew. He disappeared 10 years ago. You met him. Where is he? Silent for 10 years. Yet, that hellish time seems like just yesterday. Speak, Eo Lek-kun demanded. Aogi. He is dead. Rage erupted. Eo Lek-kun swung his sword down at Kim Han-woo. HWI Young Bo was stunned with shock. Yu Min was alarmed the next moment. She gathered her power to intervene. Just as Yu Min was about to act, a large hand stopped her. I'm fine, don't interfere. She still looked worried. Kim Han-woo, are you really okay? How is this possible? At the same time, Eo Lek-kun was dumbfounded. He blocked the blade with only his protective Kai and didn't counterattack. Could he really be Gi's friend? A sharp voice rang out from behind. Lek-kun, you fools, how dare you treat guests like that? How many times have I told you to control your temper? It was Manor Lord Eo Baek-hwan. Lek-kun hurriedly apologized. After Kim Han-woo once again explained Aogi's fate, Eo Baek-hwan bowed his head in guilt. So that is the truth, please forgive us. Please come inside. Meanwhile, Kyutiet Lam replayed that moment. In her head. Why did Han-woo brother do that? What did he mean? A sudden noise interrupted her thoughts. What's going on? There's a fight. Our people are drinking downstairs. Sword light flashed, and a man fell. As the escort masters moved to see Kyutiet Lam arrived. Everyone, return to your rooms. Han-woo brother is not here. Don't get involved. Once they retreated, she breathed a sigh of relief. Good. They aren't targeting us. But who are they to dare kill openly? In an inns. You dare attack the great Heaven sect and think you'll leave alive. The Tang family won't forgive the Black Kill Gang's veteran squad. The leader sneered. Don't you see? When they saw our Black Kill Panthers, they scattered like fright dogs. Now Kyutiet Lam understood they were the Black Kill Gang that pursued the escort convoy. Our leader gave you a chance to surrender. You chose to serve the Tangs, so none of you will leave alive. The sound of weapons clashing violently inside the inn. Lately, this has been the common situation. The Black Kill Gang is expanding rapidly, openly opposing the Tang family and taking over smaller factions. Hoping to avoid trouble, Kyutiet Lam prepared to withdraw her people. Unbeknownst to her, she attracted attention. The leaders suddenly appeared before her. Who knew such a beauty was hiding in this shabby inn? Soon after, the others who finished the battle surrounded her. It seems the big brother has his eyes on this lady. Why don't I persuade her gently and bring her to him? The man put his arm on Seol Am's shoulder. You probably don't know what happens to those targeted by the Black Kill Gang. Right then, Jo Seol Am fought back. She grabbed his wrist, spun and snapped it back. He was slammed to the ground. The leader just smirked, thought she was a fragile flower, but she has thorns. So who are you? She stood tall, the eldest daughter of the Jo Manor and the bureau chief of Hainan Escort, Jo Seol Am. Laughter burst from the Black Kill gang. A brat, running the Hanan escort. Impressive, that only makes this more fun. Outnumbered, she calculated immediately. Escape was the top priority. She focused her power and dashed away. Elsewhere, Song Hwi Youngwoo accepted the invitation inside. If Gi were alive, he would be 20 this year. The same age as you. Hearing the confirmation, Hwi Youngbo blinked. He's only 20. I'm nearly double his age. Then Beek Hwan asked, how did my Gi die? The manor was plunged into grief. Song Hwi Youngwoo said quietly, Gi was my comrade, my best friend. We promised the survivor would visit the other's family. In that hell, no one knew if they'd live until tomorrow. He said if he didn't make it, tell his father, this son was unfilial. Those were his last words. He died to save me. Ido. Beek Hwan's eyes glistened with pain and pride. Dying to protect a friend, that is truly my son. The memory of their parting was still there. They never knew it was the last time. Thinking for a moment, Beek Hwan looked at Song Hwi Youngwoo. This boy must have suffered just like Gi. With that thought, he made a bold decision. From today, you are my son. Silence. Could this stoic young man say those words? Just a moment ago, he had a blade to his head, but Song Hwi Youngwoo replied calmly, I obey father. Beek Hwan laughed heartily. Truly Gi's friend, such remarkable spirit. 10 years, without a son, how can I sit still tonight? Prepare a banquet. And so the manor was filled with a rare festive atmosphere. At the feast, Hwi Youngbo learned from Lak Khan about the events of past years. 10 years ago, when Gi disappeared, Eo Manor was still a small clan. Desperate to find his son, Beek Hwan traveled everywhere. But in his most desperate hour, a mysterious master appeared and passed on the entire martial arts of the Kion Jijia. Pain turned into motivation. Through ceaseless training, the manor became famous. But recently, the Black Kill gang began aggressively annexing sects everywhere, drawing Eo Manor into the conflict. We must always be vigilant. Forgive us for earlier mistaking you for the Black Kill gangs. Hwi Bo immediately connected their events. They were the same criminals who ambushed their convoy. While others talked, Song Hwi Youngwoo sensed something else. That girl's situation was unfolding faster than expected. He had to act soon. He asked Beek Hwan's permission and vanished before them. Elsewhere, Josial AM's internal strength was nearly exhausted as the Black Kill gang finally caught up. With this level, you call yourself a bureau chief. Surrender quietly. Just as the man's blade was about to strike, an invisible force exploded and blew him back. Damn bitch, what was that aura? Only then did Josial AM realize Hwi Youngwoo had transferred internal power to her. The man drew his sword again. From behind, the captain roared, careful, don't kill her before we have our fun. They had no idea Josial AM was prepared for the worst, empty-handed. The borrowed power had vanished. Therefore, humiliation was inevitable. The man rushed again. Let's start with your clothes first. Instead of backing away, she lunged toward the blade. Father's elder brother, forgive me for not being able to avenge you. Forgive this daughter for choosing such weakness. Just as the sword tip reached her throat, a figure appeared in midair. Luckily, I'm not too late. The moment Song Hwi Youngwoo blocked their attack, his counter-strike followed. The enemy vanished in an instant. A gray smoke shrouded the scene. What are you doing? Song Hwi Youngwoo's voice cut through the air. Josial AM immediately regretted her recklessness. She didn't expect that in the moment she thought was her last, the first face to appear in her mind would be Hwi Youngwoo Appa. A sigh echoed from the side. You shouldn't throw your life away so easily. The Black Kill gang members were trembling. They couldn't even see his movements. Who is this guy? Is he even human? Song Hwi Youngwoo looked at them with eyes full of death. Opposite, unfortunately the strange, or protecting her has vanished, her internal energy is exhausted. We were so close to success, but then this fool appeared. After hearing the whole story from Joel Lam, Shin Hee-young-woo let out a sigh of relief. There won't be a next time. Joel Lam hadn't even had time to reply when someone lost patience. Kid, aren't you afraid of the Black Killer gang? As soon as the words were spoken, she saw something she had never seen before on Shin Hee-yu's face. It was anger. Then, he moved as fast as a lightning strike. Before the gang could even react, several of them had collapsed and died right there. The captain fled, his face full of disbelief. How could such a thing be possible? The ground beneath their feet seemed to come alive, rocks and soil churning like a dragon bursting from the earth. Ducio Lam stood frozen in amazement as Shin Hee-young-woo calmly said, "This is the second form of the three talents, sword-style earth dragon." Back at Ngo Manors, tension had been running high for days, due to the conflict with the Black Killer gang. It had been a long time since the manor felt so vibrant. But even amidst the celebration, there was one person who never lowered his guard, the meticulous and calculating Yu Yu-bok. He managed all the internal affairs of Ngo Manors. What worried him most was the sudden disappearance of Shin Hee-young-woo from the feast. At a time when the Black Killer gang could attack at any moment, they were holding a feast, and the guest had vanished halfway through. Could he? Ngo Ba-hon understood that unspoken suspicion. He is now no different from my own biological son. There is no need to worry. However, the look on Yu Yu-bok's face remained gloomy. The gang will do anything to achieve their goals. What if they planted a spy who took advantage of your compassion? Is this not the perfect time for them to attack? And as if in response to forces of the Black Killer gangs, the Black and White Altars had marched toward Ngo Manor. Today, we will level Ngo Manor to the ground. The Black Moon Altar leader just finished speaking when a voice rang out near his ear. You will not make it to Ngo Manor. He turned around to find the source of the voice, but a massive bolt of lightning struck down and incinerated him into ash in an instant. As horror spread through the ranks, two figures appeared. No one is allowed to ruin my father's feast. Watching Shin Hee-young-woo charge into battle, Joel Lam blinked in confusion. Since when did Hee-young-woo have a father? As Shin Hee-young-woo unleashed his power once again, the scene was witnessed by a scout patrolling nearby under Yu Yu-bok's orders. To him, that figure did not look like a person but more like a demon incarnate. He rushed back to Ngo Manor and said, Lord, the Black Moon Altar and White Moon Altar have attacked. While Hyung, Bo and Yunmin were still stunned, Ngo Ba-hon only nodded. So it has come to this. They want a final decisive battle today. Bring my sword here. But the next words from the scout left everyone in dead silence. Are you saying they are all dead? The scout frantically nodded. I saw with my own eyes a demon that slaughtered all of them. Just as Ngo Ba-hon was doubting those words, a figure glided past him. The scout pointed wildly. I am telling the truth. The demon is right there. The face of Ngo Ba-hon darkened. Have you lost your mind? Am I a demon now? Fine, I will show you what a real demon looks like. No, he is right behind you. The scout screamed. Ngo Ba-hon turned and Shin Hee-young-woo was standing there. I am back, father.